as a young person, I never idolized sports players. Like growing up, when we were little, it was like John Elway, John Marino, quarterbacks, people, my fellow peers idolized sports figures. And the person I wanted to model my life after was King David from the Bible. This young man that wasn't overly handsome, he wasn't overly strong, he wasn't overly big, and he was God called him a man after his own heart. Somebody that had a lifetime of great things, but also some very, sin and shortcomings, and he always got, through that. And, the story of David and Goliath, Goliath coming out, blaspheming God, and, David being witness to that and being just filled with rage and, calling Goliath out and charging at him. This young man, like I said, he wasn't big, he wasn't strong, with a sling and some stones and running full sprint at what was certain death. That story, was so impactful to me. And I always, as a young person prior to the Marine Corps, I always wondered, what could I do that? Could I face certain death and not face it, but charge into it full sprint? And so, April 6th, was that moment for me. On the 5th, my platoon was at the government center, just, pulling security. And we came back to combat outpost under cover of darkness. And so, 0 dark 30, we walk down to Michigan, we get back to the combat outpost, and we immediately went to QRF, which is quick reaction force. Basically, you sleep in a little room, your whole platoon, in all your gear, just waiting for, somebody to need support. And so the morning of the 6th, we're laying on cots in all of our gear, and I was dead asleep, and we got the call that 3rd Platoon is pinned down. They're taking heavily fire, and they have casualties. Immediately we're up and we're amped. On my first deployment, I was 3rd Platoon. So some of my best friends are out there getting shot at currently. Excuse me. So full of fury, fear, not ever for myself, but like I said, my friends and we could hear it, from combat outposts, we could hear it. And so we all load up in the trucks, and the trucks pull out of the combat outpost, and we start heading, into the city. And we didn't get very far, and the drivers stopped. They refused to take the trucks any further. And the Marines, us in the trucks, we weren't having any of that. We piled out of the trucks, and literally all hell is breaking loose. I mean, we can see explosions, the gunfire. The whole city was erupting. And we just took off, full dead sprint. And that was that David and Goliath moment for me personally. Like, knowing ahead of me lies certain death, but my friends are out there, and they are going to die if we don't come help them. And I found out, how I'd react, and how not just me, but my whole platoon. We reacted by full-on sprint, charging into that, and until we started taking direct fire, and then it was, kick in a door, get a rooftop, suppress the threat, envelop them, and we just, leapfrogged until we got to 3rd Platoon. And we pushed in. I remember when I rounded a corner, and you were in front of a house and taking a knee, and you were, take like a t-shirt or something, and you were stuffing it in Jimmy's face because he was bleeding profusely. And I rounded a corner, and you looked up, and our eyes met, and the look on your face was just priceless, man. Like you, like there was hope. You know what I mean? I'll never forget that. Like, it was like one of my closest friends in the whole wide world, man. We're here. We have arrived, and we're not leaving without you.